through. I paint pictures with my words, tangled thoughts and feelings. GrowingGames.com, Rory Favreau. Tangled thoughts and feelings.
Hey there guys, and welcome to another episode of the Growing Gamers podcast. My name's Tory Favreau. This show is explicit, comes to you from Geelong, Victoria, Australia. Today we're going to be going deep dive, going back into old school Lara Croft, but the new Lara Croft. This is the reboot Tomb Raider, the definitive edition, and this is the rebirth of this fantastic series with all new sort of graphics, gameplay, and what it's basically doing is going back in time to rediscover Lara's origins, what made her what she is, and I guess also to take away some of the big boob sort of, graphics from yesteryear when it first came out. This game is so beautifully realised now. It did come out in 2013 on the 5th of March and is available on all major consoles, including PC. Now, it did come out a little bit later, I believe, on PC. But having said that, this is the reboot that was long overdue. It's such a beautiful game. It's pretty violent, but it shows Lara as like a very somewhat naive, but I would say very early 20-year-old girl. She's on her first big adventure. They're going to an island, which is the equivalent of the Bermuda Triangle, and she has to uncover the mysteries of that island. There's weather effects and storms that do take place that prevent her and her fellow travellers from leaving the island. Basically, if you hop on a plane, it's going to be hit by lightning. There's uncontrollable storms, and there's a lot of tie-in to ancient Japanese mythology from back in the day, about a certain goddess that needs to be reborn. Her spirit is stuck in the body of a corpse, and she is, in her anger, preventing anyone from ever leaving the island. There is a mysterious force at work that does take over the island, and there are humans there who are stuck, and they've been converted to serve the will of the island, and to make sure that the replacement goddess is found in the body of a younger person that the goddess can then transfer her essence into. The game does the usual Tomb Raider exploration and settings. It is just so fantastically done. There's so much to find on the island. Lara is imbued with a sense that she can see certain items. The screen goes black and grey, and it does then highlight the areas which she may want to get to. The combat is unforgiving. It's pretty darn violent. There is a lot of blood in this game if you do get quite squeamish. One of the nice things though in the game is that, it's interesting anyhow, is that as Lara fights and takes damage, she may end up with a blood splattered or dirty clothing. If she takes a fall, gets in rain, then you do see the uniform or her singlet and her jeans and stuff. They do actually become cleaner, and I just thought this was such a nice touch that environmental changes are affecting the character. Everything looks very, very stunning considering its age. It looks real enough. It's certainly a pleasure to traverse, and the things that you've got to find to get through the game are a lot of fun. Down the track, as you do build up skill points, you can get a better sense or survivor sense, and in some cases you will need to use that survivor sense to make your way through the world, encounter obstacles. The game will slow down to give you the opportunity to use a shotgun to blast your way past things that might otherwise kill you. I've discovered earlier on in the game though that this game was not going to forgive you if you didn't get your timing right and had poor Lara's head skewered multiple times on a pole in a river. There are some things, if you screw up, you're just going to die. The loading times are fantastic in this game though. There's certainly nothing to complain about. It's nice and cheap now too, so I do think it fulfills the title of what I like to call a fucking banger. Forgive me if you listen to the show prior to this. There's generally an echo effect. Haven't figured out how to do this when I'm talking over the top of a video, and I'm not. But it's a fucking banger. It's such a good game. You get invested in the story, into the travels of Lara and her companions, and also just nutting out all the different things that you can find in the game world makes for a very, very rewarding experience. So as you do make your way through the game, you can discover optional tombs. After all, the game is called Tomb Raider, and you can then find the treasure that's in them to fulfill a better picture and understanding of just what the heck is going on in this island, why it is the way it is, and just the secrets that it may have for you. Starting off with basic weaponry, she finds a bow and arrow. That can be upgraded. Now, there's ways of doing that, and that is by finding like salvage, which is located all over the place and on the bodies of those you kill. One thing that is interesting and of note is this game documents basically the first time Lara has to kill, and the shock that she does have doing so. But trust me, after that you'll have no problems at all. She's just going to be shooting like a motherfucker. The bow and arrows upgrade. Eventually you do get different bows and arrows all together, and they will end up, you'll get like a reflex bow, better hunting bows, and that does build up the stealth component nicely. The bows can also eventually become powerful enough to you put a rope onto an arrow and it lets you traverse to an area that you previously couldn't. You do end up with semi-automatic weapons, shotguns, a grenade launcher, as you make your way through the ranks of this army that has taken over this island. So you will have access to those weapons. They will certainly help you. There will be lots of times that you stare around blankly wondering, what am I meant to be doing with this particular item? And eventually you will get it. The puzzles are challenging, but they're not impossible, and they do make like the discovery of the things in that world certainly very, very fun to make their way to. You'll feel a sense of accomplishment when you do it. Oftentimes you'll stand there going, just what am I meant to be doing? And hitting this survivor sense that may or may not help you. There's little audio cues throughout that Lara will say, oh, I think I need to break this, or the glass looks weak. In this particular, this is also video if you're just listening to the audio version of it. It's on YouTube at the moment, so you just look up The Grown Gamers on YouTube and you will see the video version of this. It'll also be posted on the Facebook page, The Grown Gamers Podcast. There's an active little group there, and certainly it is a lot of fun. People interact with each other, which I certainly appreciate. So do be sure to check that out. If I ever make reference to something that's a visual and I don't explain it properly, I do apologize, but I am putting this out in both audio and video format, so as there's something for everyone depending on the way that you enjoy your entertainment, whether it's visual with video going on in the background, or whether it's just the fucking dulcet tones coming to you live, hard and fast, explaining just what the heck is going on. So in case you weren't sure, we are actually playing Tomb Raider, the definitive edition, on video at the moment as I'm recording this show about this game, which is one I think you should play. One of the issues I do have, however, though, this game is so beautifully realised. I thought to myself, I would love to get the platinum for this title. Now, if you don't know what a platinum is, it is when you play the game and you discover everything, you do all the achievements that the game asks you to do. Now, these are available on both Steam, on all the formats, on Steam, on just direct PC purchase, also on the PlayStation and Xbox formats. So you shoot certain things, certain amount of times, you may pop an achievement for that gives you a trophy. But unfortunately, this game had a multiplayer component, and I have tried to actually get a game of this going, and I've waited up to 15 minutes to see if I can join a server and play an online version of it, and to no avail. I've been unable to do so. So I would give pre-warning for any completionists out there. There's every chance that you may never be able to fulfill every requirement of this game to get the platinum. If that's something that puts you off the game, it is a real shame, because it's just so beautifully done. There's certainly funny moments where you can achieve things that you just wouldn't think was possible, especially if you played the Tomb Raider games back in the day. There's a lot of stuff there that is just phenomenal. It adds a lot more time onto your gameplay and will also give you a greater experience. I've played this game for a long time now. I'm reasonably far into it if you are watching the video now, so Lara can actually do most of the things, and we know we like doing the things. Well, at this particular point in the game, she can do most of them. It does add a feeling of accomplishment and backtracking, because to get to certain areas you will need the skills that she acquires later in the game. Now, fortunately, there is fast travel in the game, excuse me, and it is through a set of campfires that you will uncover as you're playing. Campfires act as the area where you do have the ability to modify your weapons, to do upgrades on them, and of course to spend those skill points that you will acquire during the game to make Lara more ferocious than she ever was in the first place. It is an interesting development, the way that this game did come to pass. It's certainly a very well warranted one, and I would suggest that if you are wanting to get into it, the current game is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That's the third game in the series. Remember, this is a fucking banger, so it has been around for a little while. However, play this one first if you can get your hands on it, even if you just buy it digitally. The gameplay in all of them has been beautiful. Currently, you can find Shadow of the Tomb Raider for about $9, believe it or not. But just to realise her story, to take off with Lara as she discovers herself, her prowess, gets her confidence in herself, because in some of these areas of the game you can tell she's inexperienced, she's still struggling with what she has to do to survive, but she has got the grit and resilience to make her way through this game and to save her friends. There's a spirit, definitely a plucky spirit there. She does stuff that she's never thought that she would be able to do, but also you do find treasure. There is research done into the treasure that she finds, and you can actually learn stuff playing the game, but it is just fun uncovering everything, knowing that you've picked up everything there is to offer in the map and playing it all the way through. You can even check the trophy list before you get too far into it. A lot of the fun little silly ones are readily available from the first time you get a weapon, and some of them are even available before that. You do have a little intro experience there where their ship does get shipwrecked, and then you have to find your first bow, which is located on a corpse. From that point, there are trophy areas there where, if you take down a wolf, or there's big game, there's small game like crows and seagulls that you can take down, and you will get trophies for them, and they are quite funny. In fact, as you're making your way through some of the areas, the beach areas, if you see a crab, please just shoot it. I know that sounds terrible to say that, but it is one of those little achievements. If you don't look through the trophy list, you are going to miss it, and you're not going to get the benefit of it. So I was shooting at just about everything that moved, but not only that, Lara does get salvage from those items, which does make it well worth time to actually just make your way through, build things up with the salvage that you've got. And yeah, hunting is part of it. In one of the areas, it's simply that she's been stuck on this area for long enough that she needs to eat. So that's where they introduce the hunting element of it. You can use the survivor sense in order to hunt, and also once enemies have been sort of marked or located or injured, they will glow red when you use your survivor sense, giving you a better idea of where they may be. Otherwise, they will take cover. There is a cover system there that is a lot of fun to use and does make combat challenging. It's not a crouch system. Lara, basically, if there's an area where she can sort of hide next to, she will automatically do it. The game does assist you with a lot of that sort of stuff, taking cover from bullets. Sometimes it's a little bit iffy, where you think that she should be able to take cover and she can't quite do it. But for the most time, it's certainly a gratifying experience that's well worth the undertake, especially when you do figure out new ways of traversing from one area to another, and you're going to bits that you've seen before but only from a distance, and now you're right on top of them. There isn't that much of an invisible wall scenario in the game. You do feel like you can go pretty much anywhere, though there will be some areas that she just can't climb up, and that's where you've got to look for craggy edges of buildings, and using your survivor sense, you may be able to use your climbing axe to get up there. There may be areas where you can shoot that arrow rope and make your way, and eventually you do get a pulley system that allows you to dismantle environmental structures that you couldn't previously get past. So explore. It's just such a fun game. I wanted to explore as thoroughly as I could and try to get some of the achievements too. There's definitely a system in place that does make it worth your while to take the time to actually do these things within the game, and sitting down at the campfire is what actually enables you to do that. So in the video at the moment, we are showing how we do upgrade certain items and what upgrades are available there, and it's simply by finding the salvage. Salvage is the currency of the game, and it is what lets you add other bits and pieces on. Some of them may require that you unlock other items first, but overall your Lara character will become more and more powerful, and more enjoyable to play. You'll feel like she's learning, that you are undertaking more difficult things, but you are well equipped within the game world to handle those things. The game at no stage throws anything at you that is not achievable. You just have to think your way through it, and that is the beauty of the Tomb Raider games. The puzzle element is so satisfying and rewarding. I can't recommend this fucking banger, this older game, highly enough. The graphics are on point. They will convince you that you can do it, and that the reality that you're in just looks absolutely spectacular. So give this one a shot. I'm so glad that you watched and listened, and please like, subscribe and share. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.